Good almost afternoon. I am Mr. St.Germain.
And I am Mrs. McNeice.
And I am Ms.Thom, bookitis. And we are so excited you are with us for episode 5 of Live from the Library.
I did have a student ask me if that's really your last name, by the way. The whole bookitis piece.
If that's what people want to think, they can think that all day.
I let the mystery sit.
Excellent.
All right.
Well, we do not have a scheduled virtual author visit for this Wednesday. We took a week off, but we have 3 really exciting events coming up for the last 3 weeks of our school year. On Wednesday, June 3rd, we will be with Christina Soontornvat, and she is the author of A Wish in the Dark. And I have to say, I just finished this book a few days ago, and you are going to absolutely love reading this story. We will have 2 copies for raffle giveaways, so I hope you join us on June 3rd. And the following Wednesday after that, on Wednesday, June 10th, we will be getting to talk with Janae Marks, and she is the debut author from the desk of Zoe Washington. And Janae is actually from Connecticut, so she is a local, wonderful author, and we're very excited that she's going to be with us as well. And then to wrap up our school-based author visits, we are going to wrap up with Tori Maldonado. And Tori he visited Bristow a year ago in the fall, and he talked about his book Tight. And he has a new release that just came out this spring. It's called What Lane. And we are very excited to talk to Tori. He lives in New York, and he also is going to be hopefully recording a Flipgrid for us, so you guys will get to see his book talks on both Tight and What Lane. So lots of exciting events. Go ahead and sign up for any of those that you are interested in at the bit.ly below. And on the morning of the event, you will get an email with the link for the meet. So stay tuned.
All right, book mail. We put book mail second this time because we thought right after author visits, we'd like to talk about book mail. So you can see who got book mail this week. A shout out goes to Mimi, who got a book and took a picture of herself. And we have always book mail to send out to you. So if you need some book mail, Mr. St.Germain, would you talk about the book you're giving out?
I had the book, a slightly lightly used copy of A Wrinkle in Time. It was part of somebody's little free library at one time. There's a very cool stamp inside. Ooh, maybe that makes it more valuable. It does have pictures from the actual movie, which I did enjoy, but not as much as I enjoyed the book, of course.
Okay, and I've got a copy of Epic Fail of Arturo Zamora, which is one of the current Nutmeg books to give away. Just about a middle school kid in Miami, and his family owns a restaurant, and of course some big developer wants to take over the land. So it's a David versus Goliath story with great setting and characters and fun adventure.
And I actually just finished listening to that as well. It is available as audio in Sora and as an ebook because it is one of our Nutmeg nominees for 2020. And I have a whole pile of books that if you fill out the raffle form this week for Bristow students, you will have a lot of choices of what you might get in the mail soon.
Right, check your email. Don't forget about book mail. All right, so Stranger Things Escape Room was such a huge hit. And the students who participated last Thursday at 3 voted for the next one. And so this Thursday at 3 o'clock, we are doing Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief Escape Room, digital escape room. To sign up, you can go to bit.ly PJ Escape. And by signing up, we will share with you the link to the meet on Thursday afternoon, and you can participate in Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief digital escape room.
I'm very excited about that. And I know there are a lot of students that are at Bristow that are probably going to sign up. So I hope to see you all there on Thursday.
KP's library site has a link to this escape room or to this escape experience on our website. So please check there.
And Bristow will soon. And it will also be shared in your Google Classroom. So lots of different ways to sign up for it.
I like your little figurines there.
Thank you. All right, and we are hosting a new kind of event this week. So you may have heard tomorrow is the launch of the Falcon rocket, bringing 2 American astronauts to the American astronauts to the International Space Station. It is historic. It has been more than 10 years since we have sent Americans from American soil to the ISS. And in fact, the Falcon rocket was created by the first private company, Elon Musk's SpaceX. So there's a lot of historical stuff. Now, the weather may not be so cooperative, but we're going to try to get together tomorrow online at 3:45. A bunch of science teachers are going to share some of the background and some of the different intriguing facts surrounding this Falcon launch. And we will be hanging out with them, and hopefully we'll get to see the live launch tomorrow. It's supposed to happen about 4:30. So here is a sign up. It will also be on all your library pages, and you'll see emails about it. So by signing up, you'll also be entered into a raffle to win a copy possibly of Hidden Figures or some other books as well. So join us for the launch of the Falcon rocket.
Who are some of the teachers participating? Do you know?
Yeah, Mr. Gerner, Mr. Bambara, the one that you said from KP, Mr.
Miss Caldera and Mrs. Kirkland. Yeah.
No, the Miss Ling.
Yep. Kirkland is her last name.
Yeah,
Yep.
and somebody from Bristow as well.
Awesome.
Nice.
Very exciting. We are part of history, so in a few years, this will be primary source documentation.
Should be fun.
I'm going to bring back an old memory. When I was in grade school, they would bring out this giant TV when there's a launching of one of the Apollo missions. And I remember it's in black and white, and it was all fuzzy. Yeah, that's when everything was in black and white then. That was amazing.
I didn't know they had TVs back when you were in elementary school, Mr. St.Germain.
What?
Yes, I know.
Just kidding.
Yeah, you hurt my feeling just then. Yeah.
Oh, well, before you put the slides, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. I just want to draw your attention to the books that are on the bookshelf, and we're going to talk a little bit more about those in our next slide. But there are so many amazing space-related titles that are both fiction and nonfiction. So just really look for those. And we also mentioned Elon Musk. There's some really great biographies for young readers about him. He's a fascinating person who has done amazing things, and he's still doing amazing things. So if you like nonfiction, that definitely could be something to add to your to-be-read list as well.
All right, we're going to digress for just a minute. Well, not really.
All connected.
So there are some amazing space things that happen, and I am sort of a space geek. I have a telescope in a box sitting right next to me in my workroom here, and I was really excited to read about this comet that was coming. It's supposed to be visible starting like a week ago, visible, and then it was supposed to become visible to the naked eye. In other words, without a pair of binoculars or a telescope. That was supposed to happen this week. But comets do not always cooperate, as being just big balls of ice and gas flying around the solar system, and they don't always cooperate. And this one is suddenly getting dimmer rather than brighter like it was supposed to. So I'm very disappointed. I'm still putting up a picture of it, though, that was taken by a telescope. But for those of you who are interested in what's in the sky, you may look up and say, gosh, what is that really bright thing? Is it a star? Is it a planet? How do I find out? There are some amazing apps. I have one on my phone. It's called Sky Map, and I just point at the sky with it, and it identifies what I'm looking at. It says a lot of times it'll be a planet Jupiter or Mars or Venus, and I'm trying to tell the difference. They have different brightnesses. You hold it up and point, and it will tell you what it is that you're looking at, which is it's really a great thing to have, especially if you're just interested in what's going on out there. So there is a great iOS version that does a similar thing called Night Sky. So if you've got an iPhone, if you have Android, you might want to try Skyview free, or you could just look up great Skyview maps or great star maps when you're on your phone. And there's a lot to choose from. If you don't have a phone or a smartphone, another way to go is on the internet. Sky and Telescope. Their website is amazing. It will tell you all the events happening. It will let you know when there's a meteor shower, so you can stay out and put bug spray on and look at the sky and watch meteors. Sometimes up to 100 meteors an hour can show up. And they give you all the data on when they're coming, where, and exactly where to look. And then NASA has a phone app and a great website. NASA's over 60 years old now. They've just got just amazing information, links to all kinds of telescopes all over the place. So take advantage of one of these, or you can just find a book about the topic. There's great books on stars and planets, and whether or not Pluto is or isn't a planet. You can at least research that and all of the other planets in our solar system.
And this is the shelf that I was alluding to a couple slides ago that Mrs. McNeice has kind of put together. She picked some really great titles and how to access those titles. And all of those links will be available in the show notes afterwards. And we will also share those, whether it's on our website or via Google Classroom for our students in West Hartford. But just to kind of highlight a few. So the Space Stations and Always Looking Up are both nonfiction books that are available for you to read for free as an ebook. We have a couple of fiction books, See You in the Cosmos, and a very, very brand new book by one of our favorite authors. It's called We Dream of Space, Erin Entrada Kelly. She is definitely a fave at Bristow and probably at Sedgwick and KP as well. And she it's possible that she might visit us sometime this school year as an author visit. We're working on that. So that book, we are going to have a copy to raffle off next week on the show because it hasn't come in yet, but that's going to be one that we feature. And then Hidden Figures, the third one over. This is a young reader's edition, and many of you may have seen the movie. There was an adult version written first, and this is a really fascinating lost to history story about many women who worked for NASA, and I believe it was the 50s. I could be wrong, but it was 40s or 50s or 60s, and they were known as the human computers, and they did all the math that made it possible for really space exploration to exist. And I had never known about this part of history until this book and the movie, and a lot of picture books have been coming out from the main women that are featured in here. So it's just an amazing story, and we have some copies to send for book mail for people who are interested. So that is one of the titles on the Google form, I believe, right, Mrs. McNeice, that you created?
That is correct.
So fill that out. Again, it'll be in the show notes. We'll share it in our Google Classroom and or our website. And there's so many more books that came to mind as we were talking that have something to do with space-related themes. So please check those out and share any suggestions that you have as well.
Also, when we talk about show notes, we're talking about the notes that are on the YouTube page. So look on the YouTube playlist that has been shared out and is probably on websites now and available. Look at the very bottom. It has all kinds of notes and links to all the things that we're talking about during our shows.
And I was a little preemptive because I had to give my book talk, but I'll read the back. Actually, was part of my plan. So I will give you a little bit more detail about this. It's from World War II through NASA's golden age. 4 African-American women confidently and courageously stepped into the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, now known as NASA. Their job? To provide the mathematical calculations that would help increase airplane production during wartime and eventually send the United States into space for the very first time. Hidden Figures follows the stories of 4 women, Dorothy Vaughan, Mary Jackson, Katherine Johnson, and Christine Darden, who participated in some of the United States' greatest aeronautic successes. These women lived through and persevered against the backdrop of some of the biggest movements ever to shape our nation's history: the Civil Rights era, the space race, and the fight for gender equality. With photographs and rich historical detail, Margot Shetterly brings to life the struggles these 4 women and others overcame to forever change the face of air and space travel. So definitely add this to your to-be-read list for your summer reading. And I really encourage you to fill out the Google form and request some book mail.
Well, you've watched another Live from the Library. This was episode number 5. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So stay tuned next week for episode 6. Be on the lookout for virtual author visits coming. Join us for the escape room. Join us for the launch of the rocket.
And if you have suggestions of different books you'd like us to book talk, different types of content you would like to see, please email your librarian and let us know what we can offer to make this continue to be exciting. We're hoping to continue this in some form over the summer. We're hoping to book a few author visits over the summer. We're going to be talking about summer reading in a couple of weeks and inviting Miss Karp, the teen librarian from the public library, to join us. So we have lots of exciting things coming up, and we want to hear what you are thinking as our students and our audience, and we want to include your thoughts and ideas. So please do reach out.
All right. Have a great week.
All right.
Have a fabulous
Thanks, everybody.
week. See you next week.
Bye.